Michael Medved, like he says, come, I go.
A brilliant intellect.
This is something my wife has wanted to do for a long time. She's a big fan of Michael.
I knew I would get a lot of good history and good knowledge and good information.
I've been here with my mind and my heart many times, but I could never come before.
Well, it was actually my wife's idea. She's been toying with it for about 3 years now, and I said, let's do it.
Well, I've been listening to him for years, and I've been wanting to come to Israel for years, so combination of the two.
This is my second time being on a trip with Michael to Israel, and I came back to have the trip of a lifetime again.
Feels wonderful, and this is a particularly wonderful group of people, and again, it's great to see that even in the midst of lots of world economic crisis, the economic progress and the general progress in Medinat Yisrael and the state of Israel continues to be very promising and encouraging.
It was a fascinating day. We enjoyed the cranes and just everything from beginning to end. The Gilboa Mount, fascinating. So, wonderful country.
I heard a very good line from William before. He said, we may have been the first trip to Israel that actually benefited from seeing hula hooping cranes. This really shows you how Keshet goes the extra mile. Because you have to pay the jackals extra to come out after dark, and it's terrific.
It's wonderful to actually get to be here and meet the people and interact, and we're enjoying it very much. We're looking forward to the days ahead.
He's a very personable guy. I was pleasantly surprised that he's with the tour, 24/7, which is really sort of neat.
I listen to the show a lot. I really enjoyed when he talks about Israel and when he talks about, all the stuff. But it just sounded like a very exciting trip and a fun way to do it, to be able to go to the radio show and stuff at night too.
Greg, can you hear me? No. Well, this is not a good sign. No. We have 6 minutes, and right now we're not connected, so that's... I've been very privileged to be able to do this daily radio show for soon going on 14 years. We've already passed our bar mitzvah year. We are now officially rated as one of the top 5 most listened to radio shows in the United States. We have 4.7 million different people who listen to our show in the course of a week. That's different individuals who hear part of our show, which is, it's a big responsibility. It's a lot of people. I'm broadcasting at 10 o'clock at night from the Galilee with a bunch of members of the Michael Medved tour. You can actually make noise, you can clap or something. Let me... These people are gluttons for punishment. They came from all around the United States. They arrived in Israel for the most part yesterday. Last night, we got the first hour in, sort of, but the phone line was interrupted. I don't think this was an Israeli problem. I think there was a phone line problem. So there are all kinds of challenges. It's one of the great joys of doing live radio, is that when there are mistakes and things go wrong, you hear them. 34 minutes past the hour on the Michael Medved Show, live, broadcasting to you from that high-tech powerhouse in the Middle East, the nation of Israel, broadcasting from Kfar Blum. And I'm threatening Bezek, the Israeli phone company, and anyone who can hear me, if we have any other phone problems, other than that one time, that's all, just one time, then it will destroy Israel's reputation as a high-tech powerhouse.
When the shooting is very close, so you become a little bit black. I looked at my left shoulder, and I had a dove, a pigeon, standing on my left shoulder. It's a real story. You can say it's a kind of a coincidence, all kind of theories about this dove was belonged to Syrian soldiers, and when he was killed, she changed her loyalty. Yeah. By the way, I promise you, you have angels touching your shoulders daily. It's just a matter of our ears and eyes and souls being open to that.
Listening to him, it was like everything he said is what we believe, and it was so inspiring. It just made me want to fight for what is right and true for my grandchildren and my children. It was so good. I just wanted to kiss him.
You look out over this mountain, and they're growing crops and just trying to have a life. And there are those that are trying to deny living in peace.
No, he was wonderful. His stories were just hilarious and touching and moving. I just enjoyed it so much. I want to join the IDF now after hearing him.
It was fabulous, and you felt like you touched the best of Israel.
One of the things that has happened in the United States, and it's happened in a way that can't happen in Israel, is that people have forgotten about the war on terror. They have largely forgotten what a dangerous world we live in. A lot of the people on our trips, including a number of people who are active duty military who are with us this time, feel greatly uplifted to actually meet and interact with Israelis who deal with the realities of terror on a daily basis, but don't allow it to embitter your life.
Probably what touched me right now was listening to the firefighter say, I have to go out and save lives, and my wife is calling me and telling me that I'm in danger and that my child might be in danger. What do I do? My duty, my work, or my family? To know that Israel demands that sacrifice every single time that they are attacked. Also, what touched me is that the commander didn't say, hopefully it's over. He said, we have to prepare for next time. I hate that they have to prepare for next time. I wish that they could just have normal fires, just fires, not war.
This is my very first taste of falafel, and Michael ordered it for me, so it's got pickles and sauerkraut, which I would have never thought to put on.
I'm eating a shawarma for the first time as well, and it's really delicious. Really delicious. Right. And kind of messy, but only the best food is messy.
Every time you sit down for a meal, everyone's very open. It's like, oh, why don't you sit with me? Oh, why don't you sit with me? Let's talk about this. Let's talk about that. Everyone here is very involved in a bunch of other things. They're not just sort of sitting on the sidelines. I mean, I think that the commonality about the Medved listeners is not that we're all, you know, fans of Ron Paul or some other political thing. It's that we're all very active.
These are students who on one hand want to give a lot to the country through army service, and on the other hand they also want to sort of be in yeshiva and study and keep tradition. In Greek logic, we would say all ravens are black, that bird is a raven, therefore it's black. The Talmud would say all ravens are black, that bird is a raven, so either that bird is black or there's a completely new type of raven that we hadn't thought about.
We have a number of people who are coming back with us, some of them for the third time on this trip. So we've tried very hard to have a different itinerary so there isn't much repeat. And one of the great things about Israel that people don't recognize is that beyond sort of the obvious things, there is so much variety in what you can see and experience in Israel.
I think that's going to be one of my favorite things about this trip. I got to hold a submachine gun.
One step this way.
Guys, one step forward.
It's live ammo, and responsibility here is huge, tremendous. I had visitors, and one of them were asking me what's the hardest thing in being a soldier in the army, and he said, missing mommy. I don't know if you heard about Major Roy Klein. He was just jumping on a hand grenade. It happened here, Bench Bell. Who's watching us now? Let's count them. UN, 1. Yeah. Lebanese army on top, we saw the watchtower, but on top of this mountain, our boys, of course, 3. And Hezbollah, yes, 4. Any stupid little mistake here can cause no less than a war. Katyusha rockets, about 6,000 of those rockets were flying all over the Galilee. That's the range of those Katyusha rockets.
I think what's interesting is that on this tour people are able to see that enthusiasm in a way that they didn't expect. They expected people to love living here, but they didn't expect this incredible passion and depth of feeling and emotion that pours out of them. And they would expect tourist shows, but instead of tourist shows, what they're getting is people pouring out their hearts.
In the year and a half, almost 2 years since we've been to Israel last, the United States has faced some very specific challenges, economic difficulties, a new American administration, which has upset a lot of Americans. The specific goal of this trip is one of chizuk, is one of encouraging the Americans who are part of this trip to have courage, have confidence, to see what Israel has done in the face of diversity, to not only rise above it, but to reverse it. And that maybe we can provide some specific encouragement for the Americans to go back home and take a little bit of that Israeli can-do spirit.
ארץ טובה שהדבש בעורקיה, אך דם בנחליה כמים נוזל. ארץ אשר הרריה נחושת, אבל עצביה ברזל. ארץ של מרדפים קורותיה
And this is a very special museum. I promise to you, every one of you is going to be today the real Palmach soldier. You're going to join to the 10 young Palmach members that were called Udi, Shaike, Ofra, Chilik, Amnon, Ziggy. Today you're not going to see the famous stories about Yitzhak Rabin, Yigal Alon, Moshe Dayan. No, just the simple stories of the simple Palmach members.
והיא את אויביה תרדוף במרדף היא את אויביה תשיג אך אויביה הם לא ילכדוה בכף
I think that, it's particularly enlightening to people from our country that, from the United States that don't see the history the way it was presented. I mean, it was a great history.
The way you go through the museum and experience through the films that show the actual recreations of actual people really makes it personal, brings it down to earth. It was wonderful.
What have I become when all I feel is numb to the number?
I want to ask you a few things. What do you know about the Temple Mount?
It's very old.
Okay.
The most fascinating are pieces of fresco, wall paintings of the time of Herod the Great from the Second Temple.
We have 6 categories of material that we collect.
This has got to be pottery.
What does the film look
Did I grow so cynical? Nothing helps me. Nothing helps, you see. A wave of helplessness is washing away, and I
Piece of a handle. A lot of pottery.
A lot of pottery. Pottery handle.
Wow.
That's a nice piece.
The Ark of the Covenant, but just a little piece of it. But we decided it wasn't big enough, so we threw it back.
This is 8th century BC. This is time of prophet Isaiah. These are from the time of the house of David.
I can't believe the age of all that has been found in these digs. Unbelievable to me.
We're getting Israeli history, and we're getting Christianity history too, the Holy Land. Most tours kind of concentrate on one or the other.
Temple Mount Antiquities salvage operation. You participated in it and took part in revealing the ancient past of Jerusalem. Well done.
Just remarkable to be walking in the area that Jesus walked.
I'm Jewish. I am a Jew by choice.
My family came from Lebanon. I'm a Maronite Catholic.
Never felt more Jewish than I did when I'm here.
When people come on this trip, one of the things that they see and that strikes them so much is how close they feel to Bible stories that they've known since they were children, and how amazing it is to see the actuality of prophecy.
I figured that we would see not only the Christian parts of in Israel, but also the Jewish history, and that appealed to me.
We think of the year 70, the destruction of the temple, that's when all the Jews were expelled. No. The Jews continued to live in the area of Judea.
Disaster with the mother, and then a battle that if he would lose it, immediately he would be killed. So imagine the feelings of this man, how he could be even...
It was just unbelievable, the amount of work involved in doing all of that, and it's just, it's more than I was not aware that there was something this elaborate here. And of course, having the archaeologists up there to brief us on the details of it was really fantastic as well.
Many people said that they didn't mind the inconvenience of the rain, and it was very inconvenient at times because it was raining pretty hard, because they knew how important the rain was to the state of Israel and to the people who lived here. Jews around the world pray for rain in Jerusalem this time of year, and here our prayers were answered. Everybody knows this is a family portrait. We haven't figured out how Huey is related. The reason we do these tours very regularly, and this is our 5th tour so far, is that we get such wonderful feedback from people.
I hate package tours, but this has been fantastic. The speakers are consistently good. The guides answer all my questions and create more. The people.
It's just such a wonderful experience. The people, the sights, the history. There's no one thing. It's just the experience of being here.
I had never been able to come to this country, and I knew I would be moved, but I never thought I would be this moved. It's extraordinary.
Wonderful. Learning so much about what's going on in our world and about how the difference in the reality and what our media gives us is substantial.
It's been fabulous. Just mind-opening, thrilling, very, very interesting. And we are in love with the Israeli people and their love of their homeland. It beams out of everybody we talk to.
The trips that you get with Michael Medved, and I haven't been on any others, but I can just tell by conversations I've had, are so much more significant than things that you would do with other groups.
I can't wait to share everything that I've seen with all my friends and family.
I think it's always about love of the land of Israel. It's love from afar, but you can't really love it the same way that you can when you're walking on it, when you're touching it, when you're breathing the air, and when you're feeling what the people are feeling.
There's this crazy graffiti in Tel Aviv, and you see it on the walls everywhere, and it's somebody has used blue paint, and they put a Mogen David, they put a Jewish star with the words Am Yisrael Chai, the people Israel live. I hate graffiti, I do, I hate people scribbling on walls, but this is different. What kind of country does somebody go around scribbling on walls everywhere? The people Israel live. That's the message, is that Israel is alive. No, it's not a terrorist Disneyland. Not everything in Israel is about fighting and conflict. There's that aspect. And yes, Am Yisrael Chai, the people Israel live and celebrate life.
יבוא שלום עלינו